Well, thanks for staying with us here on News Desk, and many thanks to George Addo Jr. with the very latest in the world of sports. Yes. Now, the minority in Parliament is demanding an inquiry into expenditure undertaken by district chief executives in the absence of a well-constituted assembly. The minority is currently addressing a news conference, and my colleague Elton John Bobe is actually there monitoring events and joins me now live over the telephone. So, Elton, who is addressing the news conference, and what more has the minority been saying?
Well, the ranking member on the local government Akwesi's chairman is addressing the news conference, and he is still ongoing with submission on the rural government and local government rural government ministry. Now, he's mentioned, for instance, the absence of a well-constituted undertaking can be done at the district assembly. Remember that recently the district level elections were held in the country, but unfortunately, government has yet to undertake the necessary constitutional, to swear them into office so that they can do their work. And in the absence of them, it means that the district chief executive will not have the mandate to spend. But they are saying that they have evidence that some of these DCEs have been spending money without authorization, and they want government to inquire into how the authorization that gave them the right to spend these money. He's also spoken about the National Sanitation Exercise, which is in its 11th month. Now, he's saying that the institution of this program clearly is an indication that the assemblies have failed in the sanitation drive. That's how come the Home Ministry will come up with such a program. They have also been speaking about the leasing of government equipment to engineers and planners to undertake dredging of the Odo River. So these are some of the issues that they have been talking about. I'm sure that in our subsequent bullet we'll be able to give full details, their stance, and what they will be demanded of government.
Many thanks for your time, Elton Bobe, with the very latest from Parliament, where we are told that the minority in Parliament is actually holding a press conference on a number of issues, particularly those that have to do with the district assembly elections. The fact that it didn't come off and that assembly members were not elected, and then we did have to get other members of the House to actually take over that role. Well, the minority is accusing some of them of actually overspending money there and not giving recourse to the budget. Okay, so we'll bring you much more subsequently. But to some other stories now, and parts of the eastern regional capital, Koforidua, were yesterday submerged after a heavy downpour there. Correspondent Edwin Kofi joins us on the phone lines with the latest on the situation there this morning. So, Kofi, if you can hear me, how bad is the situation in Koforidua today? Okay, so these are visuals, what you're seeing now. It appears we do not have Kofi on the line. We'll try and get him back on the line. But these are visuals from the eastern regional capital, Koforidua, where a number of houses, we are told, were submerged following a heavy downpour that lasted some few hours actually in the town. We will bring you much more on this as and when we do have him. Okay, so like I said, we'll bring you much more on this as and when we do have Edwin Kofi on the line. But let's come back to Accra now, and obviously let's focus attention on roads. Now, the Roads and Highways Minister, Alhaji Yunusaf Hussaini, has been speaking about the N1 highway and quite a number of things on the highway, including the lighting on it and also the need for a footbridge. Most importantly, a lot of people have been calling for a footbridge. Well, the minister has some answers for us here.
The thing that you spoke about the last time about the footbridges on the N1 highway, especially for the Abakala Pass stretch. The promise was made by the Roads and Highways Ministry that you indeed fix the footbridges to solve the problem of a lot of people on that stretch. What's happened? It's still not being constructed.
The footbridges have been, the implementation of the construction of the footbridges program has been greatly affected by the IMF program we've entered into.
Why is that?
We had secured funding to construct the footbridges. The funding was from commercial sources, and the IMF has put a cap on the limit by which we can take funding from commercial sources. And so that clearly is the challenge now. So what we have done presently is to use the resources to do the street lighting infrastructure. And then presently the contract is at the Central Tender Board for concurrent approval, and so that we can lighten up the street. And so that the most accidents occur in the night when vehicles using the road do not see pedestrians crossing. And so when we lighten up the street, at least it will improve upon the security situation.
But again, for those who are crossing and for those at Abekan who are watching, they would know that the problem is not really about the lights. It's about the ease with which they cross from one side to the other.
But
so
there are pelican crossings. So if we say that it's the ease, there are pelican crossings. I mean, what we call the zebra crosses.
Yes.
But all the same, we have accidents. So people do not simply obey. And we say that because most of the accidents occur in the night, the drivers, by the time they see the people crossing, it's too late to apply the brakes. And that's why we're lightening up the place. In the absence of the footbridges, we think that we should improve on the security situation on the road. And that's what we're doing.
Okay, so IMFDO stops this from happening. When would these people get the footbridges?
Well, so we have to look at other sources. We have to look at where we can attract concessional facilities. We have to see whether the government of Ghana can use the budget of GOG to fund the construction of the footbridges. In fact, we have to look for resources to be able to do that.
Okay. For the street lighting that you speak of on the N1, when will we see it done?
Well, it's at the Central Tender Committee board. I mean, immediately they give us approval, the man will go in. In fact, the contractor has taken pains to go to Turkey to acquire the infrastructure that he will use to do the road, and he's told me that he's shipped it down. He's gotten the contract, except that he must have concurrent approval from the Central Tender.
So when would the street lights be fixed? What's the time frame?
Immediately upon the grant of the concurrent approval.
How many months will he be given to finish it?
Well, I think that the longest delay at the Central Tender Board, Central Tender Review Board, will be 4 months, and thereafter you give and take 2 months for mobilization to go to site. So by the end of the year, you should see work on the road.
So let me hold you to this. By January 2016, all lights on the N1 will be fixed.
By January 2016, work will be in progress. It's a long stretch. So I'm saying that by December, you should see work on the road, work happening, things happening on the road. So January, I can't say that you will finish in January. I'm just saying that in January, you definitely will see that a marked improvement.
So February it will be done?
Well, it will be completed.
By February?
But not by February. I'm just saying that it will be completed.
Well, we have much more on that and other stories on Joy News today. That's at midday. I'll be back with that particular. But that'll be all for now on News Desk. My name is Kwabna Chencha. For more news, do want to log on to myjoyonline.com. Ifwa Akwa Harrison is up next with Joy News Interactive.